Scholars from Sri Lanka and abroad, my colleagues from Intech 37, and ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to say a few words of these topics, that is integration of civilian professions for secure nation. Though we have a small story, because unlike other countries, we are a very small country which has less experience in this regard. However, we also believe that this is an important concept that we also have to follow, that most of the countries are following. With that short note, I would like to bring a little bit of introduction of my country, since most of our friends might not really understand the geography and the country. So a quick look at my country. Maldives is a very small country spread in the Indian Ocean for 300 square kilometers. We have about 1,200 islands. Only 200 islands people inhabit. Some of those islands only 300 people inhabited. This group of islands is divided into 19 administrative areas we call atolls, and each of these islands is provided with water, electricity, education, sewerage, and every basic needs. And managing and sustaining this has become a very big fiscal burden for the country. Therefore, due to unique geographical nature of country, we our approach to security and governance also is unique. So we are also enhancing civilian participation in the security and process as well. This is what I'm going to follow in my presentation, what you see on the screen, that I'm not going to go through into it. In a backdrop of the after-mentioned dilemma, the integration of instrument of national power to secure the nation is made even more challenging when considering fiscal power to achieve the desired end result. Therefore, instead of using military as a traditional role, we are moving towards utilizing our resources to the other agencies or civilian sectors as well. This will allow better usage of resources that are available within us, as well vice versa within civilian sector, to a peaceful nation. And also this makes more security process more effective and efficient. The first step in this regard was to increase civilian oversight over the armed forces, and the second is to actively engage the military, to actively engage the civilian authorities in the community, and the final was to integrate the civilian agencies and the community into a broader security apparatus of our security force. The rectification of the constitution in 2008 actually paved the way towards the liberal democracy in the Maldives, and it stated the need of armed forces. And also the Armed Forces Act defines the role and responsibility of MNDF and established a civilian control over military. Like in many other democratic countries, that these three branches, executive and legislative and judiciary, we are accountable for this. Increase engagement outside scope of traditional military. That the purpose of increasing engagement in operation other than war, because the MNDF has many resources within us. More than any other organization in the Maldives, we have more resources in terms of manpower expertise. So rather than using them as traditionally only for military purpose, we are going to use them a better use to work with the other agencies. So we are in this area doing a very good, comparatively good job, I would say. First is the nation building. This is an area that we started doing quite well recently. Even historically, the first airport that we built in 1960, the armed forces, every member at that time took almost 1 year making the runway of this airport that we have. Then also recently the construction of the houses for the tsunami victims, and we took initiative and used our forces to also the road construction, as well as recent past the construction of convention center for the SAARC summit also been a notable achievement in this regard. Under humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, unlike other countries, the Maldives Defense Force is mandated to this, because even the municipal firefighting in our country also comes under Ministry of Defense, and it runs under MNDF. The tsunami 2004 was one of the bad experience that we had, and also the first of its kind that we have experienced. And we had a very tough and difficult time managing this crisis. Soon after that, the tsunami response plan was formulated, and a national disaster management framework came into effect, in which the military has played a key role as first responders, it says. In addition to this, the water in our country, drinking water is another issue, because groundwater is almost salinated, so we mainly use the rainwater or desalinations. So most of the time during northeast monsoon, when there is less rain, we are mandated to distribute water to some of the islands. And also the medical evacuation, which most of those islands, which I have mentioned earlier, 200 islands doesn't have adequate facilities for serious cases. So it is very often we've been called to medical evacuation that Coast Guard get engaged. However, recently government has introduced a sea ambulance unit, which later again attached to military, and we are operating it. Also, during any flood related incidents or disasters, we get help from the civilians as well as the other telecommunication partners that we have in our country to communicate between us. Also, our biggest industry, which is tourism industry, tourist resorts, are also being very helpful in this regard. So we coordinate with them in order to provide the basic assistance and necessary stores and equipments for the affected areas. And again, in the law enforcement area, this is where we assist our police and other law enforcement agencies, because country is 99% water, it's monitoring, and this is a huge challenge for us. So all those maritime crimes, we try to engage, monitor our EEZ, within our EEZ. Community outreach program is one that we run to test between military and the civil authorities, and see the interoperability between these agencies and us. This also has